Okay, let's jump right in. If you've ever worked with focus group data, you know exactly what it's like. You've got this mountain of rich, complex conversation you have to sift through. Well, today, we're going to break down a really powerful but also super manageable method for analyzing all that data. It's a way to find the story that lives not just in the words, but between them. I mean, this is a question that probably keeps a lot of us researchers up at night, right? You've got pages and pages of transcripts. They're full of fantastic quotes, but you just can't shake that nagging feeling that the report you're writing is missing something. You know, some of that energy, that dynamic that you know was in the room, but somehow just isn't making it onto the page. And that's because of this right here. See, the real magic of a focus group isn't just what people say, it's how they say it to each other. It's all about the agreement, the debate, the way one person's idea just sparks another one. If you just pull out a list of quotes, you're basically treating your participants like they were all in separate interview rooms. But the whole point, the real value, is that they were in one room together. So, the big question is, how do we capture all that magic without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, we're going to explore this really elegant two-phase approach that systematically grabs both the individual content and that crucial group interaction. And you know what? It's beautifully simple. This method breaks the whole analysis down into just two distinct, totally manageable steps. Step 1, you code what was said. And step 2, you explore how it was all said together. That's it. And here's the core idea, the metaphor that really makes this whole thing click. Think of it as creating snapshots versus a movie. Phase 1, that's you getting all the individual snapshots, these clear, crisp pictures of what each person said. But phase 2, that's where the magic happens. That's where you string those snapshots together and hit play on the movie, so you can see the dynamic story of how the group actually built meaning together. Okay, so let's start with what's probably familiar territory for most of us. Phase 1 is all about getting those foundational snapshots of the content. This is probably what you're already doing, right? You're going through the transcript turn by turn, you're applying codes from your codebook to what everyone said. And that's great. It's a systematic, manageable first pass that gives you a clear inventory of what topics and ideas were even on the table. All right, so we've got our snapshots. Now for the really exciting part. Let's dive into phase 2 and see how we build this into the full movie, because that's where the truly unique insights from your focus group are hiding. Now, the crucial point here, and this is a big one, is that you are not recoding everything. Nope, you're just looking at the codes you already have, but with a new set of eyes. You start asking totally different questions. You're no longer just asking what was said, but why was it said right then in response to that? You're hunting for patterns in the flow of the conversation, those moments of agreement, of challenge, of ideas evolving in real time. So, what does that actually look like in practice? Well, first, you look for agreement and reinforcement. Let's say you see 3 people in a row all get tagged with the same code. The old way might be to just count that as 3 separate instances. But now you look closer. Wait a minute. Did participant B's comment directly build on what A just said, which then gave C the confidence to chime in? See? That's not 3 separate opinions. That's one idea being built together, co-constructed. Next, you look for disagreement and differentiation. And trust me, friction is your friend in analysis. When someone says, I'm not so sure about that, or offers a tiny correction, that is analytical gold. These little moments of disagreement are incredible because they show you the boundaries of a concept. They point you right to the contested territory where the most nuanced, valuable insights are almost always hiding. You also want to keep an eye out for what's called idea escalation. This is so cool to watch. It happens when one person makes a point, right? Then another person validates it. And that validation acts like pouring gasoline on a fire. It prompts someone, maybe the original speaker, maybe someone else entirely, to jump in with an even stronger, more detailed claim. You're literally watching the group dynamic itself shape the intensity of what's being said. And finally, and this is probably the most powerful one of all, you look for emergent collective meaning. These are the big ideas, the themes that you can't just pin on any single quote from one person. They don't exist in a single line of text. They exist in the exchange itself, in the sum of the entire conversation. It's an idea that only becomes visible when you step back and see how the entire group wrestled with a topic together. Okay, so why does this whole method work so well? Really, it comes down to 3 key things. It's rigorous, it's clear, and it's compatible with what you're already doing. First off, it's methodologically rigorous. You're capturing both the snapshots of the content and the moving picture of the interaction, which means you're doing a much more complete and faithful analysis of your data. Second, it's just so much more cognitively manageable. We've all been there. It can feel like you're drowning in qualitative data. But by separating these two phases, you seriously reduce that mental overload. And finally, and this is huge, it's practical. You can do this right now with the software you already have, whether that's NVivo, MaxQDA, or Atlas.ti. And all of this leaves us with one final, really powerful question to guide our work. And this question, it just reframes everything. It pushes us to stop seeing the group dynamic as, noise that we have to filter out. Instead, we start to see that interaction as the very source of our most profound insights. It asks us which themes emerged because of the interaction, not in spite of it. That's the goal, to find the ideas that could only have been born in a conversation.